Your time is your most valuable asset. Don't take it for granted. That's what we're talking about today on Set to Love.
You can live a life in flow where your deepest heart's desires become reality.
You are here to contribute through your essence, fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on.
Take what works, ditch the rest, and always stay set to love.
Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go.
Another beautiful morning.
Another morning.
How's it going?
It's good. It's good. I'm wondering where the day is going to take me. So far, no glitches. So I'm staying happy about that.
I love it. I love it. So yesterday we talked about defeat and facing that defeat. And I talked about Toastmasters and how I gave this whole talk. And it was all about, we've talked about it on the show, like from moving from fine to flow, you know, taking life where we kind of just think, life's fine, it's stagnant, it's whatever. And there was this survey where it talked about a third of Americans are dissatisfied with their life, which equated to 100 million people. And that got me thinking, like, 100 million people are going to get to the end of their life and think it was just fine. You know, like they're dissatisfied. And that got me thinking about Bronnie Ware. So she was a hospice nurse for years and worked with people at the end of their life, that like 3 to 5 months left to live. And she collected what she called the 5 regrets of the dying. Like she kept hearing the same regrets over and over again. And I loved that. That got me thinking about this quote, you know, make your time count. And I wanted to read this. Of course, I love these little books with Patrick Lindsay. This one's Make the Most of You. There we go. Make the Most of You. And this is what it says. Make your time count. It's our most valuable asset. Treat it with respect. Don't take the future for granted. Our time is finite and it's sought after. Enjoy the present, savor every precious moment, spend your time wisely. And 3 of the regrets that people had the most of, Shelley, and I'd love to like dive into each of these and then maybe give people some ideas of ways that they can not have these regrets in their life. So the first one is that people wish they had the courage to really be themselves instead of what other people expected for them. So what are your thoughts around that?
I mean, oh my gosh, it's a little bit off topic. It will apply, but I'm sitting here feeling really convicted. Like this was what I was supposed to hear this morning because, I don't want to get emotional. Jeez. You know, getting older is not easy. And you talk about staying grateful for where you are. I'm sorry.
Oh, friend, I wish I was there next to you.
And I was talking to somebody yesterday. This is so weird. This came up.
There's no coincidence.
And I was telling her, you know, that I had such a good time on my birthday. You know, it was just such a wonderful time. But I did not want to take my picture because I do not like pictures of myself because I will pick myself apart, you know, and you know, see my saggy neck and all of these things, these lines on my face and the creases and whatever. And gosh, this is so crazy. Anyway, she sent me a little message yesterday, and this is what it said. One day, all your children will have is pictures of you. So make sure that you have them. No matter what your hair looks like, your makeup, your body, they won't care about that. They'll just want to see you.
Wow. That's really powerful. It's
now,
so true, isn't it?
This is obviously what we were supposed to talk about. It kind of changes this. Because I am so hard on myself where I'm wasting valuable time. That I should be embracing those pictures and not worrying about my lines or what I look like. I should just be grateful that I have that beautiful grandbaby in my arms. And, you know, I'll compare myself. Oh, my my girlfriend that's 6 years younger, she's such a prettier grandma than me, you know, and she doesn't have the things that I have. And all I'm saying is I'm being real because I'm working on this. And I don't want to be a fake to people that we're talking to. We're just so real.
But you know what, Shelley? So this brings up the second regret that really stood out to me is that people wish they had the courage to express how they really felt. And I think that's something that is so beautiful about you is that you will not have that regret. You express how you feel, you know, even when it isn't perfect and pretty and everything, it's not always positive. Sometimes we do have those things that we struggle with a lot of times, not just sometimes. So for you to just be able to be vulnerable and honest about the things that, you know, the way you feel and the way the things you're struggling with. I mean, and Shelley, think about this. Like, this is what I love about this podcast. Like, regardless if one person sees this or a million people see this, I think we are leaving a legacy for our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. This is more than just a picture, Shelley. There's right now over 100 episodes of you showing up authentically, expressing your feelings, talking about what you believe, you know, and really showing a different way that we can be in this world and we can show up and love wholeheartedly and love ourselves and love other people and how we can truly create a life in flow. And so you're doing so much more than just
well, you know, what's crazy is I really do. I mean, my person, my heart, I really do love myself. I really do. And the way that I'm hard on myself, I would never do to someone else. And it's something that I've been challenged with for so many years. And that's why I bring this up is because I think by confronting it and keep going and keep trying and working, you know, we've talked about taking small steps each day.
Yep.
You know, that's part of my journey is to, you know, my goal is in 3 months from now to not be feeling the way I'm feeling today, to, you know, you could go get surgery and just have it taken off and whatever, but then you struggle too. Is that really me? You know? So anyway, what's the third one?
I love you. No, honestly, and that's why I think it's so important to make our time count. Like, look at what you're doing. You know, you are making your time count. We come here weekday mornings and spend 15 minutes, like leaving a little ripple in the world.
Yes.
The third one, and this goes along with it too, but it's people wish they would have let themselves be happier. Let themselves. Because I think at the end, maybe you realize like it truly was a choice. You know, all those times that you were angry or frustrated or this or that or whatever, you know, it's a choice to feel however you feel. And so to look for the good and to let yourself be happier in life.
And so, where you're at. That's what I tell myself. You have such a beauty inside. You have so much love to offer. And that's really, I think, what people see and what I want to be remembered for anyway. So that's my reminder every day that those of us who are staying cooped up in a house and not making little steps every day towards positivity. I mean, that's what I'm saying. How can someone like me that is so positive, like I really see the cup as half full, I wake up, I really am a happy person.
Yeah.
But why? It's almost like this little dirty secret that I'm secretly hard on myself. And I don't want to be that.
I think we all have whatever those little things are for ourselves. And that's part of life. You know, I think maybe that's part of it. Like, we all have something we struggle with. We all have something we wish we weren't carrying around all the time. And so that is the beautiful journey that you get to have. You know, you get to figure out how to not be so hard on yourself. I would suspect, Shelley, that if you went back and looked at the Shelley from 5 years ago or the Shelley from 10 years ago, you were probably so much harder on yourself then than you are now. And you've made so much progress, but for you, you don't want to worry about it at all. But when you look back and you think, where I used to be, you're so not there anymore. You've come so far. And I think that's where we want to be able to look back and say, you know what, maybe at the end of your life, you might still have that struggle. Let me tell you what, my great grandmother, when she was in the hospital, like she had fallen and had broke her hip, and she was living on her own. And my great grandfather had already passed away, and everyone was telling me, oh, she's going to pass away soon. Because usually when one person goes there, they're heartbroken. But she was kicking for a few more years. But she's in the hospital. And do you know what she was asking? She's like, get the tweezers, pull my chin hair out. I don't want to have the chin hair. I mean, here she is in the hospital with a broken hip and like truly not doing well.
I'm going to say, where's the leopard blanket? I want to have some lipstick. Oh, at 95, I'm going to put lipstick on. That's just who I am. And
yes. And so embrace it. You know, why does that have to be a negative thing? You know, if you just say like, I care about what I look like, and that matters to you, you know, and you don't have to, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Like, why are you adding on that it had like not caring about yourself is better than caring about yourself, you know? And so reframing that in your own mind. And also, I mean, Shelley, even just doing this, you know, like showing up here, being on camera.
Yes.
And, you know, there's certain mornings that you look stunning and other mornings that were like, well, okay, we just threw something on and kind of came here, but we still showed up, you know? And I think when we do that, we give ourselves permission to just truly be more authentic and more of ourselves, whatever that is, you know?
Well, and I really want to be like a person that talks about this, because women at this age, you know, we all are kind of maybe not in exactly the same boat. Maybe some people aren't as, you know, particular.
Oh, I think everyone, I mean, even at, you know, 30, even at whatever.
But when you're 60, things change. Until you get there, you just can't understand it, because so much of it is just not in your control.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the process of life. But I say this to, I mean, I didn't know I was going to say this all, but I really, in my heart, I feel like I just want the other women that are feeling somewhat like how I am. I'm with you, and we'll work on it together and try to come up with the ideas to, you know, give us encouragement, and having friends like you, Eva, to remind me the good things about myself. And it's not like I'm ugly. What am I kidding? Like, I'm not ugly. But it really doesn't even matter. That's not what I want to be known for.
And here's the thing, like inside and out, Shelley. And when you can look back and you can say, you know, like, for example, after I had the kids, you know, 6 kids, like your boobs my boobs were udders, you know, just like these little saggy things. And I would just say to myself, like, I would beat myself up all the time. Like, I hated how I looked naked. I hated it. I just was like, what? And then I had wished at that moment that I would have valued what my body looked like prior to having kids. But prior to having kids, I was still hard on myself, you know, then, and it wasn't good enough then. And then after you have kids, you're like, what was I complaining about? You know? And so I think if you, in the moment, if you can just really be grateful for the things that you do have and hold that, let that be the dominant voice, that sure, there's things that you, that extra wrinkle or that sagginess or this or that you don't like, but that's not what matters.
Your health, the fact that I can walk and do stairs and, you know, that I get to do all the, I mean, that's the thing is I want to just commit right now to just being grateful for what I do have, and my health and my friends and this podcast and all the support from the people that we have. It's so important to just stay.
And that's the thing, Shelley, look, and that goes back to one of the first regret, right? Letting yourself do things that are true to you. So you're showing up true to you by you saying how you feel. You're being open, you're being honest, doing the podcast. This is what, you know, and I put this in my talk. I said, my best friend and I have a podcast, and we do it because it brings us joy.
Yes.
And maybe there'll be one person out there who will hear one sentence, you know, and that might help them in that day, or it might totally put them on a different path. I don't know. But our job is just to show up and do what brings us joy every single day, so we don't get to the end and have these regrets. And I guarantee you, Shelley, when you get to that, whatever that last moment is, you are not going to have those regrets. You are going to look back and you are going to say, look at what I accomplished. Look at
Yes.
what I was able to do. Look at this beautiful family that I brought into this world, that you helped, like, these generations that are going to come, and this legacy that you're leaving. I mean, there's so many beautiful things. And I want to encourage our listeners out there to follow their joy, express how they feel, and choose happiness. It is a choice that we can make every single day.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for today. Thank you.
I love
I didn't know it
you.
was going to go there. I'm a little bit embarrassed, but that's
No.
okay.
No,
That's
it's
okay.
beautiful. And again, it's like expressing how you feel, I think, is so important. And so when we can do that and be authentic, it's like, it feels hard because you're being vulnerable, like me talking about losing, like I don't want to talk about losing, the show from yesterday, but it's real, like crying about that. Like, to some people it might seem ridiculous and dumb, but that's real. And having a best friend that you can come to and you can just be real with, and you don't have to worry about what it is you say or how you say it. You can just be open and honest, and then be received with love, is such a beautiful gift that you give me every day. And I love you and
I love you
appreciate
so much. I really do, Eva. I wish I could hug you right now. I wish you could hug me. Let's say that.
Here, air hug. I love you so much. Thanks everyone for being here. We are here weekday mornings. Our show is Set to Love, and we hope that you will stay set to love. If you have a question or you want to reach out to us, you can email us at set2lovepodcast@gmail.com. We're here weekday mornings, 8:30 a.m. Until tomorrow.
Hit the bell.